In addition to deleting of a segment, make or buy decision, marginal costing technique can also be applied in making a decision as to whether a special order should be accepted or rejected. Usually, a special order is a one-off order that may be accepted or rejected depending on whether it is profitable or not. It is believed that a company that is operating below the installed capacity can accept or reject a special order at a lower price, provided, of course, there is a spare capacity to undertake the order. So this is basically what a special order decision is all about. Now, one thing is very clear as per the special order. Number one is that the company has spare capacity to undertake the order. Then number two, before we go to number two, what do I mean by spare capacity? If a company has the capacity to produce 100%, due to one reason or the other, the company is currently producing 70%. That means there is idle capacity of 30%. So if there's a special order to be undertaken, it is the idle capacity that will be used to execute the order. So then number two, the prices to be quoted for the special order is usually lower than the company's normal market price of its products. Say, for example, if the selling price of the company's product is 10 naira, then the offering price for the special order may be 8 naira. Okay, so it's usually the price to be quoted for the special order is usually lower than the company's normal market price. Okay. Now, the decision to accept or reject a special order will be analyzed in two perspectives, just like we have done previously. So we are going to examine the economic angle of the decision critically. Then we're also going to talk about the qualitative factors to be considered. Now, what do you mean by what are the economic perspectives to be considered in relation to special order? The economic perspective involves the process of comparing the sales value with the relevant cost of making the special order, whether it will result in an additional profit or loss to the organization. Okay, so that's basically what you need to do. As far as economic angle of the special order is concerned, all you need to do is to carry out incremental analysis to determine whether there will be an additional profit or the company will incur loss. Okay, so that's all you need to do. You can use the format below to do this. All right, you can use this format to do that. Format. Whenever you want to carry out incremental analysis under special order, this is the format to use. Okay, so you can say acceptance as the heading, acceptance or rejection of a special order. So that will be the heading. Okay. Now, like I said, the most important thing you need to do in this regard is to carry out incremental analysis by comparing the benefit or sales value from the special order with the relevant cost of making the special order. It should be noted that the focus is on the special order. You are less concerned with the company's normal operation. The focus is on the special order. So the most important thing you need to do is to just compare the sales value with the relevant cost of making the special order. All right. So I will then come here, the sales If the company wants to, how much is the company wants to sell the special order to the customer? So that is the sales value. So you put it there. Then you compare this with relevant cost of making the special order. Relevant costs. Any costs that will be directly attributable to the special order are the one that will be considered under this heading. You are less concerned with any cost that the company will incur. So it is only cost that will be incurred purposely because of the special order. All right. So in this case, I would then say, of course, that will be direct material. So post it there. It is also possible we may have direct labor. Then you post. We have direct expenses. Post it. You may have variable production overhead. You post. It is also possible there may be opportunity costs arising from the special order. You post. There may be specific direct or attributable fixed costs to be incurred on the special order. It is also possible you may have incremental fixed costs that will be incurred as a result of the special order. The company may also incur, it's possible for the company to incur freight or transportation costs. This will only happen if it is the company that will deliver the special order to the customer's location. Okay. So these are some of the relevant costs that will be incurred. Then you now less from the sales. So this can produce either additional profits or the company may incur loss as a result of that. At this point, you need to make a decision. Therefore, what is the decision rule? On the decision rule, number one, if profits, then of course you accept the special order. If the special order will result to additional profits to the organization, it will be accepted. Number two, if loss, then you reject the special order. Somebody can ask, what if the revenue from the special order equates the total relevant cost to be incurred? Of course, in this regard, the company can either accept or reject the special order depending on other qualitative factor, which we are going to discuss later on. However, there are two different ways in which examiner can test you as far as special order is concerned. If in the question you are given revenue, once you can see revenue or selling price for the special order, it means that you are supposed to carry out incremental analysis, okay, by comparing the sales value with the relevant cost of making the special order. That's number one. Number two, if in the question all what you can see are just costs, there's nothing like revenue, no selling price. What you can see are all costs. It means that examiner wants you to determine the relevant costs associated with the special order. So in this case, any costs that will be incurred purposely as a result of the special order are those that will be considered. Any cost that is not related to the special order, you are going to ignore it. Okay, so this is what you need to do. So let's talk about the qualitative factors. Okay, qualitative factors in relation to special order. What are the qualitative factors to be considered? So you need to think in this regard, you should be able to think outside the box. What do you want to do? You want to produce a special order. All right. You want to make a decision as to whether a special order should be accepted or not. So what are the factors you need to take into consideration? The number one is to consider if there is spare capacity to undertake the order. Okay. So you need to ask a question, do we have a spare capacity, or do we have the required spare capacity to undertake the order? So it's a question that must be answered, okay? Because if there is no spare capacity, the company may not be able to undertake the order, all right? Then number two, is it certain? Okay, you need to ask the question, is it certain that fixed cost will remain constant within the relevant range? Okay, so because if fixed cost is going to change, then that as a result of undertaking the special order, then the increment in fixed cost should be considered. All right, so the assumption is that during the period of executing the special order, the company will not incur additional fixed costs, but that is, the fixed cost will remain constant. However, if the fixed cost will change as a result of the order, then the additional costs that have been incurred should be considered. Then number three factor to be considered is that will lowering the price, lowering the selling price for the order, lowering the selling price for the order attracts other customers. Okay, at times, if a company say for example, the company has spare capacity of about 30%, and there is a need to execute a special order that requires possibly 10% capacity out of the 30. So that means the company still has spare capacity of 20%. So because the company has lowered its price, so it is possible there may be other customer segments that may want a similar thing. So as a result of that, of course, the company may also want to accept it if it will generate additional profit to the organization. Then number four, okay, we are talking about acceptance or rejection of a special order. So far, so good. We have talked about the fact that whether the company has the spare capacity. Then number two, whether it is certain that fixed costs will remain constant within the relevant range. Then number three, we lowering the special order, we lowering the selling price for the order attract other customer segments. Then number four factor you need to consider is that whether the special order, okay, is the special order the only profitable way of utilizing this spare capacity. Let me write that. Spare capacity. So that's another question. Instead of the special order, is there any other profitable venture that we can commit the special order, that we can utilize the special orders for, that will enable the company to make more profit rather than the special order? That is what I'm trying to say here. So these are some of the factors that you need to take into consideration as far as um, acceptance or rejection of a special order is concerned. So you can go back to the ebook, the PDF, then you read more. There are other ones there, other factors. Okay, so at this point, we can have illustration. We can have illustration. So basically, what we have discussed so far is that, just in summary, as far as special order is concerned, is a one-time order that may be accepted or rejected depending on whether it will result in an additional profit, or the company will make loss as a result of it. So we're now saying that, okay, the special order is usually available at a price below the company's normal price, okay, below the company's normal product price. Then another thing is that there are two ways in which examiner can test you as far as the special order is concerned. If in the question you are given selling price or sales value, it means that you want to determine additional profit or loss arising from the special order by carrying out incremental analysis of the special order. So you just need to compare the sales value versus the relevant cost of making the special order. Another way examiner can test you under special order is that, of course, you are not going to be given selling price or sales value. All what that will be given to you are purely cost. So in this case, examiner wants you to determine the relevant cost of making the special order. So those are the two ways in which examiner can test you. But one thing you need to understand is that as far as the special order is concerned, it will only occur when a company is currently operating below the installed capacity level, all right? When the company has spare capacity or idle capacity, because it is believed that it is that idle capacity that will be utilized to execute the special order. And I gave you the format that you can use, okay, to carry out incremental analysis by comparing the sales value, okay, comparing the sales value from the special order with the associated relevant cost. With the special, any cost that is not related to the special order should not be considered. All right. So then our decision is that if the special order will result to additional profit, then it should be accepted. But if the company will incur loss as a result of the special order, it should not be considered. It should be rejected. Then we talk about the qualitative factors. I gave you about 4 different qualitative factors which you can take into consideration as far as acceptance or rejection of a special order is concerned. So at this point, let's have an illustration to demonstrate our point. Okay. So let's have this illustration number 1. Okay. Let's have this illustration number 1. Conco Below Limited receives a special order to supply 2,000 units to Lagbaja. The order will utilize the available hydro facility, okay, that was purchased 6 years ago. At the time of receiving the order, the net book value of the hydro facility is 2 million naira, while the market value is 1.2 million, okay? If the machine is utilized for executing the order, its market value will drop to 1 million naira. The order will take 2 months to complete. Okay, this will be the activity level. The order will require material ABC bought for 150,000 naira 4 years ago. This is a sunk cost. So as you are reading it, just write it by the side. That's a sunk cost, not relevant. It is identified that material ABC can also be put into an alternative use at the cost of 60,000 naira, while the current market value is nil. The order will require 4 casual workers at a monthly remuneration of 8,000 naira each, and the service of a supervisor that currently earns 40,000 naira per month. The supervisor is to utilize 60% of his normal time in working to execute the order. Management ascertains that the business will suffer a monthly contribution of 80,000 naira if the supervisor is to transfer 60% of his working time in executing the new order. The supervisor is equally to be paid a monthly bonus of 10,000 naira because of the additional effort needed to achieve on-time delivery. At present, monthly maintenance cost is 25,000 naira, while that of administration is 20,000 naira. If the order is accepted, the cost will increase to 35,000 naira and 28,000 naira respectively. Determine the minimum price to accept for the order. Number B, state the basis you adopted for your computation. Show all workings. As far as this question is concerned, you will notice that there is nowhere in the question where sales value or selling price is mentioned. There is no contract price, no sales value, no selling price. So which means that as far as this question is concerned, examiner wants you to determine relevant cost, and that is why examiner is asking you in requirement number A to determine the minimum price to accept for the order. So in this case, what are you supposed to do? The most important thing you need to do is to just determine the relevant cost of making the special order. So that's what you need to do. So let's go to the working note and solve the question. Solution. Okay, the name of the company is Conco below. So what are you asked to do? Examiner wants us to determine minimum price. So I would then say minimum price. Okay. So we go back to the question. Let's create 2 naira sign just in case. So we go back to the question, we read paragraph by paragraph. Remember what I told you when we had relevant costing. I mentioned to you that relevant cost questions are solved from the additional information. So let's go back to the question. From the first paragraph, you are told that Conco Bilio Limited received a special order to supply 2,000 units to Lagbaja. So 2,000 units is the activity level. The order will utilize the available hydro facility that was purchased 6 years ago. At the time of receiving the order, the net book value of the hydro facility is 2 million naira, while the market value is 1.2 million. Now, let's treat it one after the other. You are told that there is an hydro facility that was purchased 6 years ago, and then currently the net book value of the hydro facility is 2 million naira. That 2 million naira is irrelevant. It's an historical cost, okay? The book value is what you have in your balance sheet. Remember, relevant cost must relate to the future. Therefore, the 2 million naira is irrelevant. You ignore it. You are also told that the market value of this hydro facility is 1.2 million. If the machine is utilized for executing the order, its market value will drop to 1 million naira. The order will take 2 months to complete. Now, let's solve that. So you are told that the current market value of the hydro facility is 1.2. So that 1.2 million is irrelevant because we are not told that the hydro facility will be disposed of. Therefore, we are less concerned with that. However, you are told that if the machine is utilized for executing the order, its market value will drop to 1 million. Again, that 1 million naira is irrelevant. Today, the current market value of this hydro facility is 1.2. If the hydro facility is used to execute the order, the value will drop to 1 million. That means as a result of using the machine to execute the order, the value has dropped by 2 million, has dropped by 200,000. So that 200,000 is what the project has used, is what the special order has consumed as far as the idle facility is concerned. Therefore, let's go and consider that. Let's go and put it down. So I will then come here idle facility, or you could just say idle facility loss in value. Idle facility. Okay. Loss in value. The current value is 1.2 million. Okay. Minus what it has dropped to. It has now dropped to 1 million. So 200,000 is what this order has utilized. Okay. So that is that. Then, of course, we are going to state all relevant assumptions. So let's move to the next one. The second paragraph, we are told that the order will require material ABC bought for 150,000 naira 4 years ago. That's material ABC of 150,000 naira bought 4 years ago is a sunk cost. Sunk cost is a past cost, and a past cost is irrelevant cost because your relevant cost must relate to the future. So you ignore the 150,000. It is identified that material ABC can also be put into an alternative use at the cost of 60,000 naira. So that 60,000 naira is relevant. So I will then come here. Material ABC. ABC. Alternative use. Okay. 60,000 naira. Next one. Third paragraph. The order will require 4 casual workers at a monthly remuneration of 8,000 naira each, and the service of a supervisor that currently earns 40,000 naira per month. First thing first, let's talk about the casual workers. The casual workers are those workers that will be directly involved in executing the special order. So, of course, their cost is relevant, so we need to consider it. So I will then come here labor. Casual workers. There are 4 casual workers at 8,000 naira per month. Okay, let's go back to the question. Examiner has told us that is 8,000 naira per month, monthly remuneration of 8,000 naira each. So in this case, and there are 2 months, this order will take 2 months to execute. So multiply by 2 months. So that will give us 64,000. Next item. Still on the same paragraph, the supervisor is to utilize 60% of his normal time in working to execute the order. The management ascertained that the business will suffer a monthly contribution of 80,000 naira if the supervisor is to transfer 60% of his working time to execute the new order. So there will be contribution loss of 80,000. So that contribution loss is a relevant cost. So you come here. Contribution loss. ₦80,000 multiplied by 2 months because the period of this contract is 2 months. So that will be 160,000. Okay. Let's move to the next one. You must know how to interpret a scenario. Still on the same paragraph, the supervisor is equally to be paid a monthly bonus of 10,000 naira because of the additional effort needed to execute or additional effort to achieve on-time delivery. So monthly bonus is relevant, 10,000. Okay, so I will say bonus 10,000 naira multiplied by 2 months. So that's 20,000. So let's move to the next one. Paragraph 4. At present, monthly maintenance cost is 25,000 naira, while that of administration is 20,000. The 25,000 as well as the administration of 20,000 naira is irrelevant. Whether you execute this special order or not, the company will surely incur the maintenance and administration cost. However, you are told further that if the order is accepted, the two costs will increase to 35,000 and 28,000 naira respectively. That is what is called incremental cost. So it has increased from 25 to 35 and then from 20 to 28. So let's determine the incremental cost. So I will then come here, incremental cost. Maintenance. The current maintenance cost is 25,000. It has now increased to 35. So 35 minus 25,000. And the period of the contract is 2 months, multiplied by 2 months. So the difference of 10,000 multiplied by 2, that's 20,000. That's additional maintenance cost that will be incurred. Then administration. Administrative cost. Currently is 20,000. It has increased to 28,000 minus 20 multiplied by 2 months for the period of the contracts. So that's 8,000 multiplied by 2, 16,000. So let's go back there. What other things do you need to do? Okay, that's it. That's the end of the requirement. That's end of the scenario. So let's add up. Let's add up. So this will then be the minimum price to quote for the order. Bring out your calculator. Let's do it together. The first item is 200,000 plus 124,000 plus 180,000, 216,000 plus 216,000. That's 540,000. The total cost is 540,000. So I would then say the minimum price to quote for the special order is 540,000 naira, representing the total relevant cost of making the special order. Okay, so that answers requirement number A. Now, if you stop here, certainly you can't earn your full mark because you are expected to state your assumptions. In the question, there are some figures given to you, which of course you ignore. Why did you ignore them? So you need to state your assumption. Even though that's what the examiner is asking you to do in the B requirements, you have to state the basis you adopted for your computation. So that is, you have to state your assumptions. So in this case, I would then say the calculation number B, assumptions. So The calculation above is based on the following assumptions. Okay, so number one, when you want to state your assumption, you are going to be doing it paragraph by paragraph, additional information based on the the scenario painted in the additional information. So let's go back to the question. In the first paragraph, what was our assumption on the idle facility? We said that the idle facility that was purchased 6 years ago that currently has a net book value of 2 million naira is irrelevant. So I would then say, number one, idle facility. The net book value of the idle facility of 2 million naira is irrelevant. It's not enough for you to just say it's irrelevant. Why is it not relevant? Because it is an historical cost. So that's that. What else did we do? We are also given a market value of 1.2 on the idle facility. All right. We also given 1 million naira, but what we did there was that only 200,000 naira is relevant. So I can then say the only relevant cost associated with the idle facility is the reduction in value of 200,000 naira, representing the difference between the current market value of 1.2 million and 1 million naira if the matching is utilized for the order. If the matching is utilized for the order. So we are done with idle facility. Move to the next one. The second paragraph, you are told that the order will require material A, B, C bought for 150,000 naira 4 years ago. Material A, B, C, that's a sunk cost. So I will then come here. Number two, material A, B, C. The cost of material A, B, C of 150,000 naira bought 4 years ago is a sunk cost. You need to mention it. You need to mention sunk. It's a sunk cost. Sunk cost is a terminology. A sunk cost is a past cost, the costs that have already been incurred. That's what sunk cost is all about. Remember, relevant costs must relate to the future. Any costs that have been incurred in the past is a sunk cost and therefore irrelevant. Okay, it's a sunk cost and therefore not relevant to the calculation. Okay, so that's that. That's our assumption for the material ABC. All right. If you like, you can comment on the alternative use of the 60,000 naira. So if you like, you can just ignore it. Then the third paragraph, you are told that the order will require 4 casual workers at a monthly remuneration of 8,000 naira. So if you like, you can comment on that also. If you like, you can just ignore it. But number 3, casual workers. The cost of the casual workers. The cost of the casual workers of 8,000 naira is relevant since the workers will be directly involved in executing the special order. So that one is relevant. Next item, still on the same paragraph, a supervisor is to utilize 60% of his normal time to execute the order. The management ascertained that business will suffer a monthly contribution if the supervisor transfer the 60% of his working time in executing the new order. Okay, so can talk about contribution loss. Number 4, contribution loss. The contribution loss or the monthly contribution loss, the monthly contribution loss of 80,000 naira is relevant and therefore included in the calculation of the included in the minimum price for the order, for the special order. Okay, so that's that. Then we're also told that there's a supervision, a bonus of 10,000 naira. Okay, so we said bonus is also relevant. Number 5, bonus, monthly bonus. The monthly bonus of 10,000 naira needed to achieve on-time delivery of the special order is relevant and included in the minimum price. Okay, so that's that. Finally, we need to talk about the incremental cost. Okay, number 6, incremental cost. So the maintenance cost of 25,000 naira and administration cost of 20,000 naira are irrelevant to the calculation. However, let me write that. However, the increments, only the increments, only the incremental cost associated with the maintenance and administration is considered. So that's it. This is how to state your assumption. So we are done with the question. That's what the examiner asked us to do. With this, you can earn your entire 15 marks. You are good to go. All right. So let's see if we can have one more illustration before we close the class for today. All right. So if you have the material, you can just read more. You can read more on that. So let's have one more. You can go and try this illustration number 2 on your own. Go and try the illustration number 2. Okay. However, let me see if I can give you one more illustration on this. All right. Let me see. Okay, let's solve this illustration number 3. Let's use this material so that it will be faster. Let's solve illustration number 3 in addition to the first one that we have solved. All right. Arsenal Limited produces a unique high-quality umbrella and supplies to 2 well-known department stores in Lekki, Lagos. The cost of producing one umbrella is estimated at 1,500 naira, and the selling price charged to the department stores is 2,000. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry. Let's continue. The company, yes, let me take it again. Arsenal Limited produces a unique high-quality umbrella and supplies to 2 well-known department stores in Lekki, Lagos. The cost of producing one umbrella is estimated at 1,500 naira, and the selling price charged to the department stores is 2,200. Okay? That means there's a contribution of 700 naira. That is 2,200 minus 1,500. The company is currently operating below the installed production capacity and has been approached by Ikeja Golf Club to supply 1,000 umbrellas for a special promotion event that will be taking place at the National Stadium, Lagos. Ikeja Golf Club has specified that it would like the umbrella to be manufactured using green waterproof fabric to reflect the color of the club's logo, and has offered to pay 2,000 naira per umbrella. Okay, so this is the offering price. So that would then be 2,000 multiplied by 1,000 umbrellas. Okay. The following additional information is made available. Arsenal Limited recently employed creative product consultants to alter the design of the umbrella. The cost of developing the revised design was 500,000 naira. The company had received the invoice from the consultant but had not yet paid it. Okay, so is that relevant or irrelevant? You will know later. Number 2, the umbrella comprises a steel frame, waterproof fabric, and a varnished wooden handle. The steel frame costs 250 naira per umbrella and the handle costs 100 naira per umbrella. Each umbrella uses 2 meters of waterproof fabric, which costs 100 naira per meter. The company does not currently use any green fabric in its production and would have to purchase the fabric from a different supplier. The supplier will only sell the green fabric in batches of 5,000 meters. Okay, 5,000 meters for a total cost of 550. Since the company does not have the fabric, wooden fabrics, then of course, I want to know whether the 550 is relevant or not. Arsenal Limited does not envisage using the green fabrics after the customer's order has been filled. Any green fabric not used could be sold for 90 naira per liter. Okay, all right. So that means you need to determine how many meters of the waterproof fabrics is needed. Then once you determine the liters that is needed, then you now less from the 5,000 that will be bought. So anyone that is not useful again, then can be sold at 90 naira per meter. Okay. Number 3, Ikeja Golf Club has requested that the club logo crest should be applied to each umbrella. To do this, the company would have to purchase one embossed label for each umbrella at a cost of 450 naira per label. If not used on the umbrellas, these labels will be scrapped. Okay. 4, each umbrella takes 24 minutes to cut fabric, assemble, and pack. The company pays its workers 1,200 naira per hour. Currently, the company wage records show total idle time of 300 hours per month. It's envisaged that the umbrellas for Ikeja Golf Club will be produced during the month of September 2023. Okay, so you need to determine how many hours is required. You are told that each umbrella takes 24 minutes to cut fabrics, assemble, and pack them. So how many minutes do you have in an hour? Okay, we are talking about how many 24 minutes do you have in an hour? So all of this, you need to determine it, then multiply by the hours. So in order to determine the hours required. To produce the umbrellas for Ikeja Golf Club, the company will have to use a specialized machine which is being depreciated at 300,000 per month. Okay, this machine is currently being leased to a neighboring business for 420,000 naira per month. Okay, so the 300,000 naira and the 420,000 naira, are they relevant or irrelevant? You will know later. Number 6, the company uses traditional overhead absorption costing to allocate production overheads to products. A budgeted overhead absorption rate of 2,000 naira per labor hour has been calculated for the year required should Arsenal Limited accept or reject the special order to produce the umbrella for Ikeja Golf Club. This is the question. This is a very interesting and big question. So how do you solve this? How do you solve it? This is very simple. You can see in the question that you are given the sales price. There is an offering price of 2,000 naira with the activity level of 1,000 units. So you go to the question, the first paragraph. You are told that you want to supply, okay? The company is currently operating below the installed production capacity and has been approached by Ikeja Golf Club to supply 1,000 umbrella. So the company wants to supply 1,000 umbrella for a special promotion event. Okay, so at what price is this 1,000 umbrella? Okay, so you are told that Ikeja Golf Club has specified that it would like the umbrella to be manufactured using green waterproof fabric to reflect the color of the club's logo and has offered to pay 2,000 naira. So that is the contract price per umbrella. So 2,000 multiplied by 1,000 will give us the sales value. Okay, and that's what I've done here. So you multiply the 1,000 units of the umbrella, then with the offering price of 2,000. That is what produced the 2 million naira. So the next thing we want to do now is to determine the relevant cost. So you now begin to take it one by one. Do we have material in the question? Yes, there is material. What is the material? You are given steel frame. So let's go back. To additional information about one. Okay, the additional information about one is irrelevant. That 500,000 naira we don't need it for now. So we move to requirement number 2. We are looking for material. So you are told that the umbrella comprises a steel frame, waterproof fabrics, and a varnished wooden handle. The frame costs 250 naira per umbrella. Therefore, how many umbrella do you want to produce? We want to produce 1,000 units of the umbrella. So multiply by 250. So let's multiply. So that is that. 1,000 multiplied by 250. That is what produced this 250,000. That is for the steel frame of the umbrella. What about the handle? Let's go back to the question. Still on the same paragraph, we are now told that the handle costs 100 naira per umbrella. So 1,000 umbrella multiplied by 100. 1,000 multiplied by 100 will give us the 100,000. That is for that. However, we also have supplier's quotation of 500,000 because according to the question, we are told that still on that same paragraph, the company does not currently use any green fabric in its production and would have to purchase the fabric from a different supplier. The supplier will only sell the green fabric in batches of 5,000 meters for a total cost of 550,000. So for the fabrics, it's at a cost of 550. Since Arsenal Limited does not produce the fabrics, so you need to go and buy it. And that's why supplier's cost for 5,000 meters green fabrics, that is the 550,000 you are seeing there. Then on these fabrics of 5,000 meters of the green fabrics, you are told that any unused fabrics can be disposed of at 90 naira. Therefore, you need to determine how many meters is needed for the green fabrics. You are told that you want to produce, you need 5,000 meters. You need 5,000, you can buy 5,000 meters at 550,000 naira from the supplier. So out of these 5,000 meters, you only need 1,000 units. You want to produce 1,000 units for 2 meters. So 2 meters multiplied by 1,000. So then multiply by 19 naira. Multiply by 19 naira. So that's where we have this 270,000. That 270 is a saving. That will represent a saving. Okay, that will represent a saving. Let's go back to the scenario. Okay. Now, you are told that Arsenal Limited does not envisage using the fabric after customer order has been filled. Any green fabrics not used could be sold for 90 naira per meters. Okay, could be sold for 90 naira per meters. All right, so that's what we have done. So that's it. Because as you can see, it's only 2 meters of the fabrics that we need. All right, so 2 meters multiplied by 1,000 meters. So multiplied by 1,000 units. Okay, that's it. So the one we need, what we need is 2 meters for 1,000 units of the umbrella we want to produce. That means we only need 2,000 meters. Then the remaining 3,000 meters that we don't need, we dispose it off. So 3,000 multiplied by 90 naira, that's what produced the 270,000. That 270 is a saving. Disposal value is a saving to the organization. Then the next one, number 3, we are told that Ikeja Golf Club has requested that the club logo crest should be applied to each umbrella. To do this, the company would have to purchase one embossed label for each umbrella at a cost of 450 naira per label. If not used on the umbrella, these labels will be scrapped. So 450 multiplied by the 1,000 that you want to produce. So that is what produce. You multiply 1,000 by 450. That's the 450,000 that you have there. Then let's talk about the labor. Let's talk about the labor cost. Okay. So move to requirement number, additional information number 4. All right. So each umbrella takes 24 minutes to cut fabric, assemble and pack. The company pays its worker 1,200 naira per hour. Currently, the company wage records show total idle time of 300 hours per month. It's envisaged that the umbrella for Ikeja Golf Club will be produced during the month of September. So what we are saying here is that first thing first, there's an idle capacity of 300 hours. There's idle labor. There's labor hours, idle spare capacity of 300 hours. So idle capacity is the relevant cost for where there's idle capacity is equal to 0. So in this case, you need to know how many hours is required. So once you determine the hours that is required, then you now less from the hours available for idle capacity. Whatever you have thereafter is what you are going to use. Like in this case, as you are told that the production of the umbrella will require 24 minutes to cut, assemble, and pack. You need 24 minutes. How many minutes do you have in an hour? So to do this, all you need to do is to just is to divide the 24 minutes by, of course, you know that there is 60 minutes in an hour. 60 minutes make 1 hour. So how many? And then you have 24 minutes. All right. So 24 minutes divided by 60. All right. Multiplied by the 1,000 units that you want to produce. Then, of course, that will not. Let me show you. So you need 24 minutes, and there are 60 minutes in an hour. 60 minutes make 1 hour. Therefore, 24 divided by 60 minutes. All right. So that means you need 0.4. You need 0.4 hours. Then how many hours, how many units do you want to produce? 1,000 multiplied by 1,000. So in this case, you need 400 hours. 400 hours is needed to produce the umbrella. Out of these 400 hours, you are now told that 300 hours is idle. Labor cost under where there is idle capacity is equal to 0. Therefore, I need to less the 300. I would then say minus 300. So that means generally I need 100 hours to produce the umbrella. I need 100 hours of labor to produce the 100 naira. At what price? At 1,200. Okay, let me push it to the other side. At 1,200. So I need to multiply this by 200. 1, 2. So that's how we got the 120,000. That's how we got the 120,000. I repeat again, when there is idle capacity, when there is spare capacity, labor cost is equal to 0. The company will not incur any cost because the workers are idle. Okay, so in this case, because we are not given the hours required to do the job, so you need to determine it. You are told that 24 minutes will be required to cut the fabric, assemble, to cut and assemble the fabrics. So, and you know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. 60 minutes make 1 hour. So you need to divide the 24 minutes that will be spent by the 60 minutes. Then you multiply it with the number of units to be produced. So that will give you 400 hours required. Then minus the idle time of 300. The balance of 100 hours is what the company will pay for, which is 100 hours multiplied by 1/2. Total is 120,000. Okay, so that is how to do that. Then we move to number 5. Additional information number 5 says that to produce the umbrella for Ikeja Golf Club, the company will have to use a specialized machine which is being depreciated at 300,000 per month. That's 300,000 is irrelevant because depreciation is not a cash flow, therefore should be ignored. This machine is currently being leased to a neighboring business for 420,000 naira per month. So that is also irrelevant. We don't need it. Okay. We are told that the machine is currently being leased to a laboring business for 420,000 naira per month. However, because of these projects, you will not be able to, that's 420,000 naira is will represent an opportunity cost because you cannot, you are going to use the machine for the, you are told that to produce the umbrella for the golf club, the company will have to use a specialized machine which is being depreciated at 300 per month. And we said that depreciation is irrelevant. However, because of the fact that you are going to need this machine for this special order, the company cannot earn the lease rental of the 420,000. Therefore, that is an opportunity cost. The benefit forgone as a result of taking a particular course of action. So that's why you are seeing this 420,000 here. Is an opportunity cost. It's a benefit forgone because the company cannot earn that 420 because of this special order. The special machine should be utilized for the order. Okay, so when you add up everything, of course, the total is 1620. If you like, because this saving is a cash inflow, you can also you can do it separately or differently. You can push this 270 to this other side. Just say 270. In this case, it will not be in bracket. So you only consider, you are not going to include this. All right. So you just add up 250,000 plus 100,000. That's 350 plus 550. That's 900. Okay. 900 plus 450. That's 1350. 1350 plus 120, 1470. 1470 plus 420. Okay, that's 18. That's 1890 or thereabout. Okay, so you now less it from the 2.2,270,000. Whatever you have thereafter, of course, or you just leave it the way it is. Just leave it the way it is. All right. So I'm just telling you that you can also do it separately or differently. So in this, the final answer, the additional profit that will be earned from this special order is 380,000. So since the special order will result to additional profit to Arsenal Limited, then the special order should be undertaken. The special order should be accepted. All right. Now, so this is my advice. The special order will produce an additional profit of 380 naira for Arsenal Limited. Hence, the company should accept the special order to produce the umbrella for Ikeja Golf Club. So this is not sufficient. All right. Doing your calculation is not sufficient. You also need to state all your relevant assumptions. What are the assumptions? You know, you can see in this question, the examiner did not ask you to state the assumption. So it is expected that you are going to state it because it is implied in the question. Any question under relevant costing, you need to state your assumption. So let's take it one by one. What are the assumptions? Assumption number 1, design cost. The cost of developing the revised design of umbrella of 500,000 naira is not relevant because the activity was completed prior to the execution of the contract, irrespective of when the payment is made. You know, according to the question, we are told that design cost of 500,000, this 500,000, all right, we are told that the cost of developing the revised design was 500,000. So that's a past cost. Even though we are told that the company had received the invoice from the consultant but had not yet paid it. So even though the payment has not been made, but the activity has been passed. Okay, the activity is already passed. Therefore, that 500,000 is irrelevant. It's an example, development cost is an example of sunk cost. So you ignore it. Okay, so that's why we did not consider it. Then number 2, material. The material cost of steel frame of 250 naira and the varnished wooden handle of 100 naira per unit of the umbrella are relevant and therefore included in the contract. The company does not use green waterproof fabrics for production, hence will not incur waterproof cost of 100 naira per unit on the contracts. Okay, so that's the assumption we made on that. Then number 3, suppliers quotation. Arsenal Limited would have to purchase green fabrics from different supplier at 550,000 naira in batches of 5,000 meters. This is a relevant cost and has been included in the calculation. However, only 2,000 meters of green fabrics will be needed on the contract. That is 2 meters multiplied by 1,000 units of the umbrella. So that's 2,000 meters. Therefore, the unused 3,000 meters, that is 5,000 meters minus 2,000 meters used, okay, of green fabric will be disposed of at 19 naira per meter. This represents a saving of 270 to Arsenal Limited. So I just explained how I arrived at that 270. Then number 4, embossed label. The purchase price of the embossed label of 450 naira per label to enhance the quality of the umbrella is a relevant cost. The total cost of 450,000 has been incorporated in the contract. Then number 5, labor cost. Arsenal Limited needs 400 hours, that is 224 minutes divided by 60 minutes multiplied by 1,000 units that will be produced for the umbrella to execute the order. The company currently has idle time of 300 hours for the month. Therefore, the relevant labor cost to be incurred to produce the umbrella will be 120,000 naira. That is the required 400 hours minus idle time of 300, then multiply by the rates 1,200 naira. So the labor cost on the 300 hours of idle time is 0. Okay, whenever there is idle time, the labor cost is usually 0. Then number 6, opportunity cost. The cost of 420,000 naira arising from the lease renter to a neighboring business is relevant cost and has been included in the contract. The matching depreciation cost of 300,000 naira per month is irrelevant because it's not a cash flow. Depreciation does not involve movement of cash and generally is not relevant. Then number 7, fixed production overhead. This will be incurred irrespective of the decision taken on the contract. Therefore, the fixed production overhead is irrelevant. So that is basically that. This is how to answer the question so that you can earn your full mark. If you don't do this, there is no way you'll be able to earn your full mark. All right. Then, even though in the question again, examiner did not ask you to state all relevant to state the qualitative factors. So it is expected that you are going to state all those non-monetary factors. Therefore, how did I answer that? The following qualitative factors relate to the calculation above. Number 1, will lowering the selling price to 2,000 naira attracts other customers or lead to more works for the company. So if you lower the company has lowered you remember, according to the question, the current selling price for the company's product is 2,200 from the first paragraph. Okay, so the selling price for the company's products is 2,200. Now, the customer is willing to pay 2,000 naira. That means they have lowered the price. So I'm now saying here is the fact that since the company has lowered the price, will this attract more customers to demand for the company's products? Okay, will it attract other customers or lead to more works for the company because the company still has spare capacity to do the job or to do another job? So that's for that. Then number 2, would producing the umbrellas for Ikeja Golf Club enhance the reputation of Arsenal Limited? You know, at times when you offer service or you produce a product, or you do something, or you execute a contract for a particular company, that may enhance the reputation of the company. In fact, the company will be happy, will be proud even to talk about it in the public. Oh, company XYZ is one of my customers. So for you to be able to, when you look at Nigeria, for example, you have some big companies like Dangote, the ExxonMobil, all those oil and gas company. When you offer service to those kind of organization, of course, in anywhere you have opportunity to promote your business, you need to mention it that, oh, in fact, we recently we recently did a job for company XYZ, and so that is to enhance your reputation. You are doing that in order to enhance your reputation. So it also relates to Ikeja Golf Club is a very popular club in Lagos. So if you have opportunity to offer them service, that will also enhance your image as a company. So what we are now saying is that, would producing the umbrellas for Ikeja Golf Club enhance the reputation or the goodwill of Arsenal Limited? So you need to consider that. Certainly, it will surely enhance. Then number three, what are the other profitable ways of utilizing the spare capacity? Or is this special order the best alternative? It is possible that there may be other alternative way of utilizing the spare capacity that will be more profitable for Arsenal Limited. But what we are saying is that, is this the only profitable way? Maybe. So that is the factor. Then number four, would there be any impact on workers' morale, especially if the idle time is reduced? So the workers currently working in the organization, they are happy because they they don't do anything for about 3 hours. All right. So they are happy. Now that you want to remove their idle time, they will not, it may lower their morale. Maybe some of them even using the spare capacity to sleep, or to relax a little bit on the to relax a little bit so that it can be more productive. But now that you want to, execute this order, it means that it will impact their idle capacity. All right, it will impact their idle time. All right, so if it impacts their idle time, certainly some of the workers may grumble, even though they are going to, of course, they will grumble. But again, yes, so you need to consider the impact of that on the workers' morale, because it may affect their productivity. Then number five, is there any possibility that the normal operations may be impacted by the special order, which may lower productivity and result in contribution loss to the organization? Yes, it is possible that this special order to produce 1,000 units of the umbrella may affect the normal operations of the company. So once, if you think that it's going to affect the normal operation of the company, then if that impact may be material, then of course you may decide not to accept the order, even though you are going to make additional profit, because you don't want anything that would disrupt your normal activities. All right, so this is the end of the question. So like I said, you can just go ahead and solve additional illustrations you have in the material, so that you are well grounded going to the exam hall. All right, so that is the end of the question. So in our next class, we are moving to optimal product mix decision.